Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Infantry Pulse, and today we're going to be going through an offense showcase, Aether Raids offense showcase, of my newest little toys that I've got here, and that is my Save Ball, featuring Gwendolyn and our Forma Faye that I just got from the Hall of Forms here. So I already had near save Vector, but I wanted to be able to use him on Astra and use Wendy on Light and not have to worry about switching blessings back and forth and all of that kind of stuff. So this is my Save Ball. So first up, we are going against a turn 1 trap, ye old turn 1 trap here. So what's going to happen is I've planted my team to bait out with Freyja in front and then kind of surrounded the save units. And that's kind of what you want to do. You want to get everyone within 2 spaces of all the save units and then kind of surround them so they can't get lunge and they can't get attacked themselves, so they're always getting the bonus stats from hopping over with save. Now, a good thing that happened was Faye actually covered Gwendolyn from Flash, so Gwendolyn is not affected by that Flash, which is great, because now she's going to be able to actually counterattack into Sigurd, which is very, very important, so that she can actually take him out right here with those double bonfires right there. This is RZL's team. Big fan of RZL. He's a mod on the Discord server. And he is also the originator of my Astra defense that I use pretty typically, my Astra Infantry Pulse defense. So he's actually had a quite big influence on the channel. Now here, Faye's going to be able to actually walk up and take revenge on the Reinhardt that just did her so dirty last turn with his 15 times 4. So luckily she's able to take him out right there. No problem. I'll smite up here, and you might think, well, if that was the real heavy trap, that might have been a problem. But actually, Pathfinder would have made it okay either way. We'll go back down, we'll swap, and once again, we have everyone balled up. That's why it's called a save ball. Luckily here, I don't wipe the whole team, because if I wiped the whole team, then obviously I wouldn't be able to get pots and all that stuff. But Sigurd's going to live here, which is actually good news for us. So this is going to attack into Gwendolyn here. She is going to just ping off. So one of the good things about having a blue near save unit, blue is really the color to be in the meta right now, just in general. There aren't a ton of green threats on defense all the time. And even when there are, they're usually just 1 unit per team, whereas opposed to the blue-red colorless threats are really big. You think about something like Legendary Sigurd, Nótt, Saros, Duo Leaf. Did I say that one already? Don't remember. But those are like the big threats right now that you see very commonly on Aether Raids defense. So a blue tank is the way to go here, which is why I actually switched into Gwendolyn from, I used to be running Gustav, right? So now with everyone in place, we get to actually box in the Sigurd right here, and that's one of the many reasons why I'm running the Armor March seal on Wendy here, is so that I can actually move Faye and Wendy pretty easily around. And now it's just a matter of getting these pots with Freyja here. Trace Freyja is going to be highly featured in this video, so again, if you end up pulling a trace off of anyone, I really highly recommend giving it to Freyja. It makes her much more useful. The trace skills on Mythics in general are really great, specifically for getting pots and that kind of stuff, so definitely helpful. So that'll be the end of that first match. Next up, we are going to be going against another member of the Discord server. We're going to be going against Soda Cane's team. Shout out to Soda Cane. He's a very good follower of the YouTube channel as well. And he is probably one of the last people on Earth to still be running a Flier Ball successfully. So we're going to go up against his Flier Ball. It's a little spooky, but it's a good team overall for sure. We are going to actually... we need to deal with Katria. That's when I first look at this team, that's what I look at and I say, oh no, that Katria is going to be a problem, right? So we're going to look to eliminate Katria as quickly as possible. Luckily, Freyja is going to be able to run up the left side of the map rather than trying to run down the center. Try to run down the center, there's those traps, it gets a little bit scary, it gets a little bit yikes. But luckily, between Freyja and Milla, we're going to actually be able to just run up that left side there, eliminating some structures along the way as well. Milla's going to end up outside of the save ball this time, but she's going to be relatively safe overall, just because she's going to be far enough away from where all the action's happening. So we're going to smite up with Milla. That means Freyja's only going to need 2 spaces to travel over and take out Katria, which means that she can then Canto to the right side and end up being that bait unit that I talked about, right? So you always want to have a bait unit here when you're running your save ball, and then behind your bait unit you put your near save unit, and then behind your near save unit you put your far save unit. That way the far save unit is always protected and far away, and always going to be able to get the extra stats from far save here. I also really highly recommend, when you're running your far save unit, running Mystic Boost on them, specifically because obviously passive healing is great, but more so it negates Wrathful Staff, right? So it makes healers do way, way, way less damage to them, and they're going to be tanking a lot of healers. It's one of the reasons why you're running that, and unfortunately because they're armor units, they can't run something like Null Seek Disrupt. So this kind of makes up for the fact that they're going to be taking that damage every single time. Now the guard effect here on Ashnard came in really, really clutch. So he runs the guard in his B slot here, and that comes in super clutch in that moment. Now, unfortunately, because Freyja is kind of boxed in right here, Freyja is unable to get a kill on any of these guys. So what we're going to do actually is use air to ting off of him, but what the important part is here is that he's going to lower his defense because of the dagger effect, right? Dagger 7 coming in clutch there, and Freyja's actually still tinging off of him, but because she gets a special proc now that he's out of guard range, she's actually able to take out Ashnard. This is one of the effects of like stacking those Rhine skills, stacking, you know, Ashnard's weapon. It makes everyone around him thicker, right? So that's the benefit of save balls. They all help each other. They're all both offense units and support units. That's kind of the idea behind a save ball. The reason why I always use Freyja or sometimes Air to be the bait unit in front is because those are the more offensive of my mythics. Dagger also works. Dagger's also definitely a more offensive mythic. But because they're up there, they can player phase units. The save units don't really have the best player phase all the time. So it's nice for them to be able to just sit back and relax and let the offense mythics do their job. So again here, she's not taking a whole lot of damage, especially after the passive healing from Mystic Boost. She's taking very little damage every turn. Now, I run Crafty Fighter on Gwendolyn to get that guard effect. That's super important because she's going to be taking 2 hits a lot of the time, and she's also retaliating back with 2 hits. So having a guard effect on your save units is mandatory. It's absolutely mandatory. So I've got the tier 3 stance on Faye, and I have Crafty Fighter on Gwendolyn. Now on Gwendolyn I also have close defense, which might be an interesting choice for some people, but on light season, I highly, highly recommend on light season near save units specifically, running, not close save, but close defense 4, because close defense 4 has a lull effect. So if you forgot what those were, that means it negates the opponent's visible buffs, and Nótt needs those visible buffs to get her bonus doubler effect off. That's the important part. It's anti-Nótt there. That's why it is the strategy. So I choose to get the pot here as opposed to killing the flame, just so I don't have to worry about the pots later. That now I'm just prepared to, I can wipe the team now, right? So I've taken the pots, I've done what I needed to. At this point, it's just waiting it out and wiping the team. So she does 3 times 2 here, but that's net 0 after the passive healing from Mystic Boost, so it's really not a big deal at all. And then she'll net, what, 8 damage from this hit, so yeah, Mystic Boost is just a really good seal for your far save unit there. Now, Myrrh here is actually gonna be able to live because of damage reduction things. Oh, yeah, and also she doesn't double, so I don't get a second bonfire proc. That's another big part of it right there. But luckily, Freyja is going to be able to easily take out Flame and then Canto back. Canto Freyja, so good. I'm just going to keep saying that. She's just really strong. And then, because Faye has been taking so many flame hits, she has an iceberg pre-charge, which means that that'll be way more than enough to take out Myrrh here. So, bye-bye Myrrh. Sorry about you. See you in the afterlife. And then we're just going to move our units around here. to end the game and feel good about it. Getting Pathfinder here set up just so I can take out the healing tower in case that's going to be an issue, but it won't be. Now we have near save. 1 times 2 is actually more than it looks like because we do have bonfire here. But yeah, the second hit is only 1. Fortunately, Faye has color advantage and, you know, hits res, so that'll be enough to easily take out Eldigan and win the match for us. Yeah, the more I played around with this, this is the first time I played with a save ball, I actually kind of like this strategy. I think it's kind of fun. I know it's kind of cheesy and, you know, kind of cheap, but I enjoy it. I have fun playing with it, so that's why we play video games, right? We want to have fun with it. So next up we have a far save team, and this team is actually a lot spookier than it seems because the place where currently Wendy and Air are standing is actually going to be threatened on turn 1 by Sigurd. So this is a very hard team to avoid a turn 1 engage on. Very well built team, very smart team, because it tricks people into thinking that they have more safe spaces than they actually do. But fortunately, we can set up our save ball. Freyja's out of it, but again, she's far enough back and far enough away from the action that it won't be a problem. Now, Mia here is going to deal some damage to Faye, you know, some actual damage, because Faye's defense is much lower, but fortunately she has that sturdy stance to kind of balance it out here. And luckily, against Felix here, she's going to be able to get that iceberg proc and just one shot in retaliation. It might have been a little bit spooky for her if she had taken too much damage there. Now, Sigurd is attacking later in the chain just because he doesn't do 5 damage, right? He doesn't have that 5 damage rule, so he is attacking much later in the chain, which is good for me because that means that my Freyja got to stay safe and got to stay away from Mia and all that jazz. But also it's just good news in general. Now I think Faye might have outsped Yoon anyway here, but this is maybe a moment where Dragon's Ire is coming in clutch and avoiding that sturdy impact effect. So Dragon's Ire removes effects that stop Faye's follow-ups, so that's pretty good. I don't think that's the ideal build for Faye, but it is a good build for sure. It's just the one I got off of Forma. So I'm relatively happy with it. I think, you know, you could run Slick Fighter, you could run Crafty Fighter, and then something else in the A. You could even run something like Dragon Wall. Lots of different options there. Anyway, so luckily Save Ball does very well on turn 1 here. Doesn't miss a kill. Takes out the whole team, so all we have left to do now is clean up pots. So that's really nice. And the only unit left is Eldigan. So Eldigan looks like he has a pretty big threat range right now, but keep in mind that Holy Knight Aura has expanded his threat range by 1, so it's actually much smaller than what it looks like on your screen right here. So we keep Wendy and Faye close together so they have armor march things. And then we're going to smite up Freyja so that she can start taking out those pots in the back line. So the idea here is just to kind of play safe and get out of Eldigan's threat range as much as possible. I could probably bait with someone and be fine, but maybe not, especially not after this Bolt Tower turn right here, especially. But luckily, we just get everyone out of the way. Freyja is able to clean up the pots in the back line. Freyja is, you know, coming in way more clutch. I know, like, she's not actually a good mythic. Just having Kanto on her feels so good. And yeah, just helpful for sure. And that's the end of that team. So then next up, we're going to be facing a Physic Trap, which is not something you see very often. I actually kind of like Physic Traps. I think they're super interesting. Unfortunately, this is the 7th unit that we have Veronica in right here, which is kind of interesting, kind of strange. And so that's gonna, you know, mess things up just a hair. I'm going to have to kind of take a little bit of a risky first play here, a little bit of a risky first turn, but luckily the AI is in my favor, so we're going to have to put 3 mythics. We're going to have to put Dagger, Air, and Milla all out of the save ball and just count on every one of the units running to the right side. But because we're burning so many dances here at the beginning to, you know, rally up attack and all this other stuff, and you know, just the 7th unit dance. We're burning a lot of dances at the beginning, and Duo Peony is isolated. We're fine. We're very safe over here. So that's going to deal, yeah, so Blazing Wind there deals a whole bunch of damage. But luckily, the in-combat damage to Faye herself is minuscule, right? So she'll be more than fine here. She does miss the lethal by 1, and if the support level between Faye and Wendy was more, if I had grinded that more, it wouldn't have happened that way, but no big deal. We still get it just fine. Wendy's in a little bit of danger here because she's out of the HP range for both her weapon, and just now, she's out of the range for Crafty Fighter, which is, not great for her. So we're gonna stay at pretty low HP for a lot of this match. You see Faye also taking some serious damage here. That's gonna be from the passive damage from Veronica and her Savage Blow, but also from the AoE special that we got from Ophelia. So luckily we're doing fine here. The bright side, none of these teams we're facing have big threatening red nukes, like something like Legendary Lilina or Duo Lith. If you got your Forma Faye, that is her downfall. That is her Achilles heel, is that she does really well into a lot of these matchups, but she absolutely cannot deal with those huge red nukes. She can survive them, yes, she can absolutely survive them, but she can't survive the follow-up from the rest of the team. So that's really what her problem is. So yeah, Faye is here as a functional unit right now because she is my one and only far save unit. So I will look to replace her eventually. For now though, it is fun to use Faye because she's, cute and she goes raw and stupid stuff like that. But yeah, fun unit to use for sure, but not the most ideal unit in any way. Now, Bolt Tower going off there is very helpful. It means that we can, smash Nini in here very easily. We'll leave Veronica alive, because once we take out the Dancers, she's only going to get 1 attack a turn against Faye, and it's basically going to ting off at worst, or at best, I guess, and deal, 4 damage. Which, again, 4 damage is net healing, because you still have Mystic Boost, and that's one of the advantages of the Mystic Boost. So now I get to leave the healer alive and just count on Faye here to deal with that damage, whatever that's going to be for her. So yeah, Faye, yeah, she's just going to ting off, which it's, essentially +6 health for her. And then next turn we can use Freyja to get the pots, as we are wont to do. This pot placement is pretty ideal for Freyja because she can just run straight across the map. Just fine here. Get that pot on the left, you can get out of threat range. Wendy can then walk up because of Armor March, take the other pot, and Faye, being the good little chicken dragon she is, finishes out the match for us there. And next up, our 5th match, final match of the video, is, as always, going to be versus an Infantry Pulse team. Now, I like going against an Infantry Pulse team for the last match because branding, right? It's the name of the channel. So we are going against another mod from the Discord server. Seems to be a theme of these videos as of late. This is ALO, Alex. This is his Aether Raids defense team. Very similar to my own, very similar to that map that RZL designed at the beginning, that I've been using quite a bit on Astra Anima season. So here we're going to use the combination of Pathfinder and Trace to break up the wall there and run up kind of the left side. Now, because I've isolated, what's her name? Tethys, there we go. Because I've isolated Tethys, and actually I think, never mind, I think Triandra moves there either way. So it wasn't because I isolated Tethys, it's just because Triandra moves there. Now we're able to run up with Freyja and nuke down Triandra very easily. And because Freyja thinks she's going to apply Pulse Smoke. So having that support is very good. That means I can still use this save ball against this team and not have to worry about the huge nukes that come from an Infantry Pulse team. We're going to swap to the side there and ball everyone up in true Armor Ball fashion. Everyone is within 2 spaces of both of the save units, and both the save units are safely protected. So we are more than fine here. Now, Rajat has essentially the flash effect. She's basically Infantry Kempf, if you're familiar with Kempf. So she is going to be able to attack me there, but unfortunately because she's running Wind Sweep to counter physical units, Faye actually gets to counterattack and destroy her in retaliation. Now, Tethys is going to attack in here, and normally that would be a spooky Glacies proc, but because of Guard and because of Pulse Smoke, that was actually just a nothing proc, so that's very positive for us there. Bremimon is hanging out in the back because he's stuck in place by Tactics Room. Happy bonus week Tactics Room, everyone. And then we get to move up Dagger, and again, use the combination of Trace and Pathfinder. Such a strong combination here to run around the backside, just circumvent Nótt entirely, and then take out Tethys, so I don't have to worry about any dancing shenanigans from her. I do only Canto back 1 here, but then I change my, or I Canto back 2, but then I change my mind and decide that I want to ball everyone up a little bit better, so I'm going to send the save units to the left side here, so that they are always getting that save proc. Now Air's a little bit out of it, but she's not in danger from anyone, so she is fine here. Nótt's going to attack into us here. It is Nótt bonus week as well, so she has some bonus HP. She has bonus stats all across the board, but unfortunately that's not going to be enough for her, and the 2 bonfire procs will take her down. Bremon's going to run across here, but because, again, of Tactics Group, he's not going to actually get to attack. So we're actually going to player phase into Altina here, just because Wendy actually does outspeed her, because Altina's incredibly slow. So Altina gets the Twin Blades proc off in retaliation, because Crafty Fighter's guard effect is only on the enemy phase. Doesn't really matter though. Wendy comes out of it with super high HP. We're going to test this trap, and it actually ends up does being the fake trap. Even if it was the real one there though, I would just end up moving up Faye, and then Faye would far save the team and be fine. She would live versus Bremimon there, so it wouldn't be too big of a deal. Now we're just going to get in position to get that last pot on the right side there. So Ninian's going to start running down, probably chasing Air. We're going to smite up with Freyja, or smite Freyja up rather, get that last pot, Canto back out to safety. Not that she's really in danger from Ninian at all anyway. And then we'll ball everyone back up to end the match. So that is the video, everyone. I had a really fun time making this team. This is a really fun team to use, in my opinion. Again, it is cheap. I acknowledge it. It is cheap and whatever, blah, blah. And not everyone has this fodder, and yeah, it's premium fodder. But I also just had fun with it, so I hope you guys had fun watching it. I hope you guys learned something about save balls if you're trying to make one. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them on the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. With all that being said, thanks so much, guys. See you later. Bye.